and the headlines start to twist. He's digging through the stories, finding all the things you missed. Talking Super Bowl ads, old films and modern trouble. If the world's too loud, he cuts it down to the subtle. So turn that down, 'cause you know who's talking. Ooh, if there's truth in the static, Tom Gulley, from where you're looking. Ooh, you gotta dial deep for Gulley. 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 Sunrise greets him with a golden crown. Tom Gulley's ready, no time to slow down. His voice a river, smooth and deep. He's got the stories that make the city weep. Walking streets where legends grow. Everywhere he stops, they already know. Tom Gulley goes to town. Oh, he lights it up, never lets it down. Tom Gulley goes to town. He's the man they cheer, the talk of the town. Oh yeah, woo yeah, barbershop chatter, a wave and a grin. Coffee shop wisdom, let the tales begin. The baker hands him a loaf with a smile. Tom, you're the man who makes life worthwhile. A mic in his hand, the airwaves ignite. He spins a story, he turns on the light. Listeners gather from far and wide. Tom Gulley's words, a city's pride. He lights it up, never lets it down. Tom Gulley goes to town. He's the man they cheer, the talk of the town. Tom Gulley goes to town. He lights it up, never lets it down. Tom Gulley goes to town. He's the man they cheer, the talk of the town.
Tom Gulley's got a mic in his hand. Ooh yeah, talking Bigfoot tracks in the sand. Hole punches, spiders, conspiracies tight. He's podcasting strong, deep into the night. From the man from UNCLE to the Motown scene. He's dropping gems like you never seen. Oh, you know Tom Gulley, he's the podcast king. Say what? Ladies man with a smooth, sweet swing. Bigfoot, spider, and 9/11 schemes. Tom's a man of your wildest dreams. Tom Gulley, he's got charm, got wit, and a silky flow. Oh yeah, talking mysteries only Tom would know. From R&B to the funk so tight, He's spinning webs like a spider at night. Woo! His voice is smooth like a Motown jam. Ooh-wee. You can't help but say that's my man. Oh yeah, Tom Gulley, he's the podcast king. Ladies man with a smooth, sweet swing. Ooh. Bigfoot, spiders, and 9/11 schemes. Tom's the man of your wildest dreams. Tom Gulley, I'm gonna, Tom Gulley, I'm gonna, Tom Gulley, I'm gonna, Tom Gulley, I'm gonna,
Hey everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking? Tonight, let me tell you about hypnotism. Hypnotize. Before we get to that, please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all the free things you can do to help us out with the little show. They don't cost you a cent, just takes a click, and I'm not going to hypnotize you. Keep your eye on the pen to the I'm not going to hypnotize you through this show. Several people have asked. I won't do that. Yeah, I don't. I don't. I'm going to get into something here real quick. Look, I have spent. Oh God, this is just perfect. I have spent the whole weekend dealing with Spectrum. My spectrum was in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Today would not be the day to trifle with me, is what I'm going to say to start with. Secondly, the link to this show is open all the time. All the time. Every show, there at the top, pinned. If you want to get froggy and be Mr. Brave, all you got to do is click that link. And you can have a verbal repartee with me that you will not survive because I'm better at it than you. You know who you are. So when people come into the chat room and they want to put racial slurs one letter at a time, whatever, just ban them. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. But don't in the chat, Michael, go, who's this guy? And it's a name I've never seen in my life. And it's not been in my chat, and it's not been banned. That means I have to go look and see if it's in the... Don't be doing that crap. Don't need it. I can handle it. Trust me. The person who was in here is a guy named Sam V. He's a troll of 97 different shows on the internet. Has nobody in the world that wants to be around him. So that's what he does. That's his thing. That's his achievement. When he passes on, if there indeed is anyone in his family or, even just the person that is tasked with the poor, task of putting him in the ground, what's it going to say on his tombstone? Was a jerk in chat rooms. I mean, is that your thing? Because nobody knows who you are. Nobody cares who you are. And that little talking about him right now will fuel him for months. Because somebody mentioned him. Anyway. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, did that part. We do have super chats. We do have memberships. We have gifted memberships. And we have the all-important PayPal, which I love the most. I'm trying to get me some PayPal money together. That's where you get the most, and you give the most, I get the most. Google gets nothing. We cut out the middleman and pass the savings along to me. And I like that. That's really great. You don't want me to get into my conversation with Spectrum. this weekend. I could talk for an hour about it. Spectrum for a year and a half on my 3-year contract was giving me 80 megabits per second when I was supposed to be getting 300. And I complained for a year and a half, at which point they said, oh, you've got a broken line going into your house. Now, did they say, we should reimburse you for all that speed and things that you paid for, but you didn't get? No. What they said was, sucks to be you. Thanks for the cash. Fine. They come out, they put another line in, they dig a hole in the ground, they put the hole in the ground, they put the thing in the bathroom. And then when they buried the thing, they didn't bury part of it. So even now, there is a 1.5 to 2 foot long piece of cable on top of the ground. Right. So last week and probably Friday night, my internet started dropping out. It'd be on for 20 minutes and then boop, it would go out for a minute or two. But that takes you offline, and if you're streaming or blah, 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 blah. So I call them up. And they tell me it's not in your house, it's somewhere in the line. You need to schedule an appointment. And I said, I need to schedule an appointment? And I think you need to schedule an appointment because I don't need to be there if it's not in my house. And schedule. And I mightily objected to the fact that why do I have to schedule an appointment? Why do I have to avail myself of you? You work for me, I don't work for you. Well, just in case we check everything and it is in your house, but you just told me. So they come over. The point is, I'm on the phone for an hour with AJ, and AJ is supposedly remotely testing all these things. So I'm on the phone with him for an hour. Just sitting there. Yeah, sitting there. On a phone with AJ, because I'm not paying them. Oh, wait, I am paying them. So, and I mentioned to AJ several times, only one of us on the phone right now is getting paid to be here, and it's not me. Huh. And he says to me, he says, now keep in mind I pay the usual amount, about $75 a month for my internet service. And he says, Mr. Gulley, he says, I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't do a little something to make all these things right. You know, you're not getting the service that you paid for. It's wrong. Let me see if I can do something to make this right. And I'm thinking I'll get a free month, or they'll knock $20 off or something of that nature. And he says to me, he says, what we'd like to do is give you our one viewer package. It's all your local channels and 15 other channels of your choice. We'll give you that for free. We're also going to put 2 more phone lines into your house and give you those as well. We're going to give you Wi-Fi backup throughout your home. And there was 3 or 4 other things. And he said, and we can do all that for $175 a month. And I hit the roof. I'm like, your solution, your answer to all this bad service I'm getting is I get to pay $100 a month more for 10 things I don't want? I said, AJ, I got to hang up the phone right now. I really do. You're costing me money. I work from home. Having the internet drop out is... And then he says to me, well, technically, the internet service that you're getting is for entertainment. And I'm like, really? Technically, is it? Well, technically, I'm not getting that service. So just from starters, you're screwing up. Even if it was only for entertainment, I wouldn't be getting that for entertainment, would I? I'd be watching a movie and it would drop out and then I'd have to start. See? So I'm not getting that technically just for a starter. Oh, and by the way, I do a little streaming show here, which is entertainment because it's entertaining to do that. And oh, by the way, technically, I see your commercials where you've got grandma and grandpa talking to their cherubic little grandchild over the computer, and that's entertaining too, isn't it? And lastly, AJ, can I tell you that technically you just got done telling me and the thousands, if not millions, of Spectrum users who work from home, don't count on us. Don't count on us. You can't email, you can't FaceTime, you can't Google Meet, you can't, Microsoft Meet, Google Hangout. So I'm a little cheesed off And that way, that meaning is that means that I got no time for garden variety internet trolls. Really don't. Who are too scared to come on here and back and forth it. Because they would fare poorly in that paradigm. As do most people. As do most people. Look online. The clips are out there. Go ahead, look online and see who I've taken to the pawn shop or whatever. I've got many clips from you fine people. By the way, let's get some PayPal going up in here. And right out of the gate, Michael Gardner, who's a nice guy, we enjoy having him around here, has got a huge expletive in his that I can't use. But let's suffice to say, he wants videos of people being hypnotized very badly. Now, I tried to get a video of that would be good. All the ones I could find were really boring. I found one that was somewhat interesting in a historical context, but it was in a format that was all messed up, and I didn't have time to convert it. So I do have an action painting of Hypnosis, however. I do have that. Sky is here. Good to see him. He, like many people, are asking, do we have to worry about you trying to hypnotize the viewers on this episode? There's my answer. Not that you know of. I would never, ever try to do that. I don't know why someone would say that. Look deeply into the center of the screen. A wave of warmth and comfort is encircling your body like a cocoon. You are feeling very sleepy. Sorry. I guess that removed my audio too. Thanks, StreamYard. Things are going great today. They're just going great. They really are going great. They're just going great. This whole weekend has been a kick in the... I won't get into it with you with the other services, because right after I got off the phone with them, I'm like, I'm getting another service. Now, the only good thing about the Spectrum service is it's a hardwired connection. AT&T in my area, probably the only area in the world, does not offer a hardwire connection. They offer that 5G Wi-Fi thing through the sky. I don't like that. It's not trustworthy, as if Spectrum is. And Verizon, I have had Verizon on my phone for 22 years, and I think to myself, what if I was to bundle my services? Bundling services, they always give you a great deal when you bundle your services. They love it when your services are bundled. I do prepaid on my phone. It's unlimited, cheap, awesome. They want me to do postpay, and then the same amount of service I get on the prepay is like $40 more. Why would I do that? Why in the name of... And so they're like, whoa, we'll knock $15 off if you do that. And I'm like, yeah, but it's going to cost me $40 more. And I'm like, I've been a customer for 20... This is the best you got for me? All right. Well, would you like to do it? I don't think so. Can I call you back next week? No, you can't. Yeah. Let's see. Team Brittany is here. The always awesome Team Brittany. She says, when you think 3, 2, 1, you will be a Tom Gulley fan. Well, don't do that, whatever you do. Gilman is here. He says, hey, Gullerinos. Hey, Gullerinos. Hey, Gullerinos. Good to see him. Team Brittany is often imitated, never duplicated. And when you wake up, you will no longer be a chicken. You will be a rooster. Can someone just give me a good recipe for a chicken salad and call it a day? Team Brittany, I made some really good chicken salad this weekend, and I have a sandwich's worth left. And I'm eating it after the show tonight. It's a good one. It's a good one. It really is. Let's see here. Gilman has a long apology to somebody that's not here right now. I won't put it up. Maybe I'll put it up later if she shows up. But thanks for the apology. Did the Eagles win last night over the Lions? I lost track. I fallen asleep. When I woke up, the local network news was on. Let's see here. Let's see. The horrible, ridiculous, vulgar names. We secretly love you. And I got rid of him. Longtime troll of many shows. Known as something you would pluck from a shower drain or wipe from your hind parts. Let's see here. Oh, I did play a brand new song at the very start of the show that Leon Kennedy sent me called Dial G for Gully. I think that's what it's called. How do you get Michael Jackson to sing for you? Mostly seances. Seances. Yeah, great vocabulary. The sort of thing you would expect to hear from such a gutter snipe, yes. Team Brittany, getting people to hit that like button. Yeah, can you dig it? Can you dig it? Let's see, hit the like button before you're banned. Yeah, that's the least you can do. And I did, for you, Julian Caesar, I think you're the one that mentioned you wanted Marfan syndrome. But I'm doing a whole show on that Wednesday night. Can you dig it? Tomorrow night is, don't tell me, it always comes to me. Daggone it. It's a show about things with stuff. Doggone it. Tomorrow night it's already programmed and everything. Let's see here. What is it? That's not that. Oh, wait. Nope, that's the wrong week. Marfans. I don't know. This is very embarrassing. This is quite embarrassing. Dagnabbit. Now I'm going to have to look it up. I know that Thursday's show is the Fort Worth Trio, which are three girls that disappeared without a trace and any explanation except some creepy stuff. There are some creepy things. The Mid-Atlantic Accent is tomorrow. Well, I'd love to. That ought to be a great show. I'll be tuned in for that. Tomorrow's the Mid-Atlantic Accent. Tomorrow is the Mid-Atlantic Accent. Reginald, come here. Reginald, I'm afraid we're going to have to let you go if you ever enter Miss Sydney's room again. A comedic genius, yes. Best bumper music in the biz. I think so, too. I think Leon Kennedy is a genius. Let's see here. Nice, yes. Johnny 8 is here. Oh, yeah, Johnny 8's here. Yeah, talking about them bumpers, you know. Tommy don't play that. I don't. Team Brittany says, come on, lurkers, we see you. Johnny says, good evening, Tom. It's good to be on time for a change. It's nice to have you here. It's always good to see you. I've got an enemy. I don't even know the guy. He's just an idiot. I never had any interactions with him. He's a troll. That's what he does. That's what he gets off on. Excluded from all other forms of life because of his inability to acclimate into normal society. This is what he enjoys. It's the only thing that triggers endorphins for him. It's the only way that he can have any interaction with polite society. This is it. No one else will have him due to hygiene, behavior, and a variety of other factors. Let's see here. Gilman says $1.99 super sticker. Yes, I like that. Gilman, thank you so much for the super sticker. Team Brittany, she's throwing out the love, I'm assuming for the super sticker. Hypnosis, jazzed about thinking. Yeah, well, we're going to get into some of this stuff. Real good. Team Brittany, probably be a dabble verse. Commie, yes, a commie. Better dead than red. Let's see. Rich says hit the like. Michael is puzzled by who would hate me. I know. I'm loved by all. I don't understand that. Chef is on the couch. Good to see you, Chef. Glad you got a little time off from all that cooking. All that fine cooking. Cooking up them tomahawk steaks, unless your sous chef does that. Tomahawk steak over at the Skyline Club in Indianapolis. What's that run you? $600? Kidding. It's probably about $150 though. Maybe they're an agent of chaos. Agent of Chaos, one of my favorite novels by the legendary and an acquaintance, Norman Spinrad. Norman Spinrad, who wrote the famous episode of the original Star Trek with that, like that bugle snack that was trying to eat the constellation. Got closer and closer. Let's see here. 3, 2, 1. When you awake, you will be fully awake. We're 20 minutes into the show. I haven't even started the topic yet. Or even worse, an agent of Mr. Burgers. That would be bad. 3, 2, 1. You are a jerk on the internet. Fine. Gilman, that's it. If you're going to be offensive, at least be funny. At least. Oh, Team Brittany. Team Brittany, you're too kind. You're too kind. Now, let me tell you something about Team Brittany. She is like, look, if I had a moderator on this show, and there really doesn't need to be a moderator, although when I was doing it in Utah and we had a lot more people in here, I did have a moderator. But she's a moderator on a show that has like 120-some thousand subscribers, but that frequently has, I think today I saw they had 6,000, like 900. They were closing in on 7,000 live viewers. She's a moderator on that show, and that show requires you to know things as a moderator. You have to be able to say, oh, that happened on this date before the other thing happened and stuff. So Team Brittany is very welcome here, and certainly very generous with the 5 gifted memberships. I don't know who got them. I'm going to assume people that really hate me, but they subscribe to the channel so they could comment in the chat room. I would listen for an hour at least about your Spectrum call. Well, a lot of people would. Let's go. Leon Kennedy says, shame I missed a membership. God. Michael Garner says, it's almost like you don't want to have non-competitive monopolies of services. Well, they're not necessarily totally monopolies, but like there's only one cable provider. There's only one, you know, kind of. The phone company thing's a little bit deregulated, but I'm in a bizarre little pocket of Dallas that AT&T does not have hardwired service for, or Verizon for that matter, or Frontier. You know, there's no, and so the only hardwired service I can get is from Spectrum. So I'm screwed. Now I've talked to a bunch of people that get 5G service, the Wi-Fi kind, but like it's sketchy. I'm like, okay, I want 300 megs per whatever. And they're like, guaranteed, you know, up to 300, typically 80 to 250. 80 to 250 to me is quite a range. Anyway, Team Brittany getting some love. The call is coming from inside the house. If only it was. If only it was. I could handle that. Terry Nee says, we're in the collapse and we're waiting for the turn. Let me tell you about being on the phone for an hour. Oh, and it was a land line, of course. Yes, it was a land line, of course. Help me, help you, help me. If you really want, and Mr. High and Mighty, well, technically, it's only for entertainment. And I said, let me leave you with this last thing, AJ. You know how at the beginning of the call it says that you record the call for quality and assurance and all that? Yeah. Well, guess who else has been recording this call? Well, I don't know if you're... Yeah, well, I know. If you can record it, I can record it. And by the way, Texas is a one-party consent state. The federal standard is one-party consent over state lines. And you said you're in South Carolina. That's a one-party consent state, too. In short, you're in my world now. I didn't say that. Yeah, $175 a month. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? I don't know what that means. Something bad, I hope. You get bad service and they still, yeah, it's like, and I kept telling the guy, I don't want to discuss any other terms or any other thing you're going to do for me until you fix the problem. And I kept saying, do you realize you're trying to get me to buy more stuff and the stuff I have isn't working? That's a poor negotiation position to be working from. Michael Carter, are you not entertained? Do kids come on your lawn? Matter of fact, they do. Matter of fact, they do. Well, they did. They don't know more. What is going on over here in Fort Lauderdale? I took care of this before the show started. Now it's all. Well, I'll deal with that later. Very entertaining, Gully Head for life. I hear Spectrum is the dried ketchup on the internet bottle. That's a good description for it, Terry. It's taken me an hour to get through these. Okay, look, you telling the story is like a video in my mind, so I'll allow it. Why am I clucking like a chicken and flapping my arms? There, you can stop. As Mr. Gulley hypnotizes me, my wallet opens on its own. Look deeply into your wallet. Same. Prepaid is way better. It's so much better. It's monthly. And by the way, why wouldn't you as a company want me to pay in advance? I'll tell you why. They make fees, penalty fees if you're late with your bill. That's why. Terry says, I have Verizon Fiber Internet. Come here to do your show. I would, but the county you live in, I looked into it, has this people complaining all over the county about a squeaky door that echoes through the valleys on a daily basis. I get unlimited data, but I'm like a postpaid plan. I don't have caps on anything, not even tethering. I'm the same way. I think there is a limit on my streaming data. There's no limit on voice, no limit on text, but there's some limit on the data I can stream that I never come close to reaching, unlike a postpaid. When you wake up, you will no longer be addicted to Mershahol. Oh, God, I hate Mersh. The only thing I hate Mersh is the way people in the Dabbleverse think he's the greatest. And he is a known con artist, a known liar, a known failure at so many things. Terry Nee, you know the Dabbleverse people. Go back to your Dabbleverse and tell them to watch a documentary. It's in 2 parts called Terrorspurg. Terrorspurg. If you really want to know who you're dealing with there, and people just let him on their show. If they watched that video, they would not let him on their show. And that video was made. And by the way, the documentary extremely well produced, extremely entertaining. It's produced better than anything the Dabbleverse has ever produced, and it's got Mr. Miedeker. It's got all these other people from the internet commenting on it, right? And if people watched that, they wouldn't let him on the show. It was done 3 years ago. So it doesn't contain Mersh stroking out into his microphone, passing out and stroking out into his microphone, which if I did that, I would quit on the internet. I would never come back. I'd go into exile. It doesn't include him getting his car repoed because of gambling. And it doesn't include him, after he got his car back, leaving his firearm in his vehicle. There's a bunch of things it doesn't include. That's all you need to see is that one video. And I had somebody, some dullard in Pat Dixon's chat room tell me, well, the stroking out into the mic thing is actually kind of cool. He's leaning into it. You don't, when you take a dump in your pants in front of a wedding reception, there's no way to lean into that. There's no way to lean into doing dabs, Mr. I smoke, an illegal substance in his state all the time, on air, and then gorking out, boom, into the mic, and then back in his seat, completely stroked out. You can't lean into that. There's no leaning into that. Oh my God, the living legend himself is here. SG Fanboy. Man, oh man, it's been too long. My dream is that SG Fanboy and Leon Kennedy get together and do something creative together. Yes, Fanboy. Summer Rose came over the other day. We went over the basketball story. You mean the one where the glasses got knocked off and she took the ball and went to the other end and scored? Mid-Atlantic accent. I swam with the endorphins in the Bahamas. I got to get to the end of these comments. Are the people who get hypnotized the same who've seen a ghost? Probably. Chef says $150 for a tomahawk steak at the Skyline Club in Indianapolis, and a bargain at twice the price. Prepared by the chef himself. Leon Kennedy says, I got to go to bed because I've been writing a uni paper all day, night, and hypnotism is just suggestion. It's actually incredibly simple when you know what's going on. Darren Brown did shows on it. You're very much on to something. Suggestion is a major component of hypnosis, and regardless of the type of hypnosis you're referring to. This guy said 5G is good as backup for cable, but it can't replace it yet. Yes. You got the Spirit Airlines version of internet speed. No, that's the price of the Tommy Hawk steak. Yes, the Tommy Hawk steak at the Skyline Club. Terry says, ironic, I just received a text from the old bat at the end of my drive about my German Shepherd barking in the morning. Well, there's that too. Probably the German Shepherd is barking at the squeaky door. Have you ever tried dabs, though? Don't knock it till you tried it. I haven't, but if I did try, look who we have here. If indeed that is, look, if you're really Kelly Fisher, say something right now that would prove that you're Kelly Fisher. Please. Terry Nee says, I'm sorry, Tom, don't bring me to wedding again or I'll wear Depends. Yes, I'm going to need you to prove that you're Kelly Fisher. Go ahead. Incidentally, Kelly Fisher, I have to contact you here in the next day or two. I personally don't think that's who they say they are until they prove it. Okay, you may indeed be Kelly Fisher. Of course you have to use a sheet. Why wouldn't you? Everybody knows you use a sheet or you'll get salt and popcorn on the floor. Like, for God's sakes, man. You could have just said baseboards. Could have been it. If that is, and I'm never, because there's so many trolls, I'm never quite sure. You could just text me right now, too, by the way. I'm never quite sure if it is, but all right, I'm all caught up. I'm all caught up, and it's 33. I thought baseboards were overdone. I got you. I've got. Michael Garner says, when I was a kid, I used to eat while sitting on me own sheet too, mate. All right. Oh, my sister's here. And she's a senior lecturer in behavioral psychology or is it behavioral science? I forget which. It's it's psychological science, I think, or something of that nature. And I'm doing hypnosis, so I better get everything right. There's the chef. He knows the senior lecturer from way back in the pizza days. The pizza days. Aye, Dan. Let's talk a little bit about hypnosis, shall we? Gosh. I am going to run out of hours, the free hours on StreamYard this month. I can tell you right now. Hypnosis is it's actually not a practice. Hypnotizing is a practice. Hypnosis is a condition that humans get in involving focused attention and reduced peripheral awareness and some say enhanced ability to respond to what Leon Kennedy was talking about, suggestion, things that are put forth to you. They may be questions, they may be statements. You just don't know. And there's a lot of theories about hypnosis, and there were things around it, and there's a lot of conjecture as to whether it's really real, and if it is real, how it works, and if it does work, how well it works, and if it works well, what does it work well on? So, during hypnosis, people have, if you believe in it, a heightened focus and concentration. And like I said before, they have an increased response to suggestions. Hypnosis is basically, take your consciousness right now watching this show. It changes that consciousness to an extent. It doesn't, I shouldn't say that because some people believe it does. It's almost like, when you wake up in the morning, when you first wake up, that is a state of consciousness, okay? But it's not the same state of consciousness you have during the middle of the day when you're fully awake and alert. Now, that's just an analogy. But hypnosis is taking your normal state of awareness and altering it in whatever way you think alters it. All right? So, yes. The use of hypnosis for therapeutic purposes, for therapy, is called hypnotherapy. And then there's another kind of hypnosis that people use. It's called stage hypnosis. And that's the kind of hypnosis that we've all seen where a guy's on a stage and on a TV show or in Vegas and, bark like a dog and all that. Two kinds there. Two kinds. Michael Gardner says the key part of hypnosis is whispering in the guy's ear and saying, just go along with it. I'll give you $50 after the show. Yeah. Medical hypnosis, scientifically, there's a couple of things. Research has indicated that using hypnosis, and this was something that was used a lot from the 50s till probably the 90s, using hypnosis to recreate memory. In other words, somebody walks through a moita scene 2 minutes before a person is shot. They're not there when the person's shot, but they walk through 2 minutes beforehand, right? And then they hypnotize them to see if that person can pick up things from their subconscious of where was the gun, where was the cigarette holder, where was the... That type of hypnosis, research indicates, is not necessarily likely, but it may aid in the formation of false memories. In other words, your mind searches for closure and it might make some stuff up. Medical hypnosis is often considered pseudoscience or quackery. I don't know what the senior lecturer thinks about that, but that's what the research that I looked into shows. And the research that I look into I don't really look into the research. I look into the conclusions from the research. I don't really dig into it past what the, let's see. Oh, senior lecturer. Okay, I'm going to go with the baseboards and the stuff there. So the word hypnosis, or the word hypnotism, hypnotism, Letterman always says hypnotize. The word hypnotism derives from the word neurohypnotism, which meant nervous sleep. And that term was used by Etienne Fils de Collivier in the 1820s, okay? But the term hypnosis is from the ancient Greek. The word hypnotize or hypnosis or hypnotism, those words were popularized in English by the Scottish surgeon James Braid. Yeah. Now, he didn't invent those terms. He just got them into the English language, and that was done around 1841. James Braid was like a very, very key and important person in the establishment of hypnotism in science and usage and popular knowledge. He based his practice on things that were developed by a guy named Franz Mesmer. Well, where's James Braid? Why am I not showing you a picture of James Braid? For the love of God. For all that's holy, there's James Braid. Don't look into his eyes. He may hypnotize you. Back in 1831. Yeah. Old James Braid was a famous man, but he couldn't afford colors, so it's just a pencil sketch. That was true of a lot of these early hypnotism people. He based what he was doing on a gentleman by the name of Franz Mesmer. Franz Anton, that's why that says A. Mesmer there. And so you might know Franz Mesmer from the fact that even though he was heavily involved in hypnosis and sort of altered state suggestions and the focusing of the mind in certain ways, that's where the term mesmerize comes from. Can you dig it? I knew that you could. I knew that you could. Yeah. His practice was called mesmerism, but it's kind of the same thing, man. It's kind of the same stuff, you know what I'm saying? Uncle Fatty's here, says, you convinced me. Well, I'm glad I convinced somebody. Gilman says, meditation works for me. That different level of consciousness is refreshing and helpful. Yes, I think that transcendental meditation, which I've done from time to time, is really awesome. That is a very focused, active kind of mind trick, if you will. And it is participatory. In other words, you are part of it. There is no suggestion in that other than the suggestion that you place upon yourself. But we can get into that in a minute. Sky says, is there an explanation for chicken hypnotism? No, I don't think so. Wait, yes, there is an explanation. It looks really good on stage. My sister Kelly says, you are correct that using hypnotism to recover memories is very likely to elicit false memories or contaminate any true memories. Nailed it. I'm going to call or message you here in the next day or two. I got to talk to you about a thing. Uncle Fatty says Brett Kavanaugh was tricked into falling in love with beer. He likes beer. Michael Garner says you don't need to mesmerize all the details. No, just the important ones. Okay. All right. A person in a state of hypnosis has focused attention, deeply relaxed physical and mental state, those two things are hard to make happen together, and increased suggestibility. Suggestibility, that's the quality of being inclined to accept and act on the suggestions of others. So think of a sorority girl who's had a couple too many drinks. No, I'm kidding. Yes. I'll get into the placebo effect in a second here. Some people believe. Well, I'm going to tell you about 8 definitions of hypnosis, which are really 8 different kinds of hypnosis. They're very quick, they're very simple, but they'll kind of take you around the world in terms of what hypnosis may or may not be in your mind. Some people think that hypnosis is a form of dissociation. In other words, this is me, I'm Tom, I'm in reality, and hypnosis is me dissociating from reality, going, the reality that exists, I'm going to abandon that in my head, and I'm going to exist in this new paradigm, if you will. Some people think that it is part of something called role theory. And so if I'm being hypnotized, I take on the role of a person being hypnotized. In other words, if I'm really concentrating on trying to be hypnotized, I do say and act in a way that I believe a hypnotized person would act. That's what's happening there. All right? A guy by the name of, and you know how much we love funny names here, Weizenhofer. Yes, he thinks that hypnotism is just an enhanced stage of suggestibility. And even to go as far as to say he believes that hypnosis is a form of influence from one person exerted on another person. He just thinks it's a matter of like, it's not like your boss telling you to do something and then you do it, although it's kind of like that. It's just you're in a state of suggestibility. You're in a state of willing to accept a lot of things, right? Yeah. Yes. Some believe that hypnosis is just a state of relaxation. In other words, I'm so relaxed that I'll do or say anything anybody wants me to do, You say, yeah, okay. You will not ever eat Pringles again. Man, whatever you say, I'm just relaxed. Some people believe that the act of induction, the act of getting hypnotized, is a biological response of the human body. They think that physiologically, if you do the things and all that stuff, your body physiologically does stuff, that it's a biological state of the human body. And then lastly, some believe that hypnosis is a very, very unique inner directed state of functioning. In other words, most states of functioning are outer directed. That's an inner directed one. Yeah. What do you think about all that? I bet you didn't think about all that. Let's talk about induction, because that's the part of hypnosis that everybody sees in the movies and stuff like that. Let's see here. Brett Kavanaugh. My sister. She says, unlike what you see on TV, people who are hypnotized are not likely to do anything they would not ordinarily do. Well, then what good is it? No, I'm kidding. It's not. Work like a dog. Uncle Fatty says, hypnoprogramming, neuroprogramming, indeed, say I 3 times, they hear 30, they believe 3 of them. Okay, sort of 1938. Yeah. Hypnosis would be a lot more effective if they use those snake charmer flutes. It's just a lot fancier that way, says Julian Caesar. Hypnosis is what happens to the ladies when Tom takes his glasses off and lets his hair down. You got that right. All right. So, finger red number 1. Daggone it. I hate it when those emojis don't show up right. Daggone it. Daggone it. Say it. Oh, say it. I'm sorry. I was hypnotized to only read what's on the script by CBS News Radio. They hypnotized me to only read what's on the script. Okay, so hypnotic induction. Let me just give you a visual that will show you hypnotic induction, and you won't have to wonder what it is. There you go. How many times have you seen that in a movie with a brooch or watch or whatever? Okay, so this is the induction is the stage where you put them in the hypnotic trance, right? All right, and some people think that there are anywhere from 30 to 50 stages of this induction process which occur. Now, remember old James Braid? Remember this G? Remember that guy? Let's take this back here. Okay, so here's what he had to say about induction. Okay, take any bright object like a lancet case. I don't even know what a lancet case is, frankly, but I imagine it's something the size of a pen or whatever. Between the thumb and fore and middle fingers of the left hand, hold it about 8 to 15 inches from the eyes in such a position above the forehead as may be necessary to produce the greatest possible strain upon the eyes and eyelids and enable the patient to maintain a steadily fixed gaze upon the object. I'm not doing that voice anymore. The patient must be made to understand that he is to keep his eyes steadily fixed on the object and the mind riveted on the idea of that one object. It will be observed that owing to the consensual adjustment of the eyes, the pupils will at first contract. They will shortly begin to dilate, and after they have done so to a considerable extent and have assumed a wavy motion, if the fore and middle fingers of the right hand, extended and a little separated, are carried from the object toward the eyes, most probably the eyelids will close involuntarily with a vibratory motion. And then if that doesn't happen, you start all over again. And you keep doing that until they close. And then Braid, this guy here, this fella, he later on says, actually, induction's not necessary in every case. I mean, I only have so many lancet cases around here, for crying out loud. But there's variations to this, including the watch and all that other stuff. But this particular thing that I just read, it's still considered authoritative. It's still considered kind of this is how you do it. In 1941, Robert White wrote, "It can be safely stated that if 9 out of 10 hypnotic techniques call for reclining posture, muscle relaxation, and optical fixation followed by eye closure." So this is still a thing. And it, to me, is kind of like when you were a kid, did you ever do the thing where you would hyperventilate and then somebody would press on your chest and they'd make you pass out? To me, it's like that. It's a really benign kind of physiological reaction, I guess. I've never had it done to me, but I'll tell you this. If somebody made me look at a thing and my eyes started to hurt, I'd be like, we're done here. I don't need that eye strain thing. Anyway, so the next stage is suggestion. Once you get into that stage, you're very suggestible. And that's when people can tell you to do things, ask you to do things, suggest things to you. You don't really like cigarettes. You don't like the way they taste. You don't like the way they smell. You don't like having to smell them on your clothes or in your home. You know that other people look differently. All that suggestion. And this person, I don't like a cigarette smell. Anyway, there are other elements to this. One is is it the conscious mind that you're dealing with, or is it the subconscious or unconscious mind? Sorry, conscious or subconscious mind. Those things were introduced into hypnotism by, among other people, Sigmund Freud at the end of the 19th century. And that gets into the topic of subliminal suggestion. Are these suggestions of things in the forefront of your mind, or were they made to you subliminally, so that they're there, but you're not aware of them? Who knows? Who knows? Now, there is something called the ideodynamic reflex, or the ideomotor response. And all that means is hypnosis that makes your body do things. And more to the point, can hypnosis create a reflexive, an automatic movement of muscles? And the answer was, in their studies, yes, but to a very, very, very small degree. Your body reacts certain ways to hypnotism. Yes. Yes. So it's more like the power of idea. It doesn't really do anything. Sky, yes, 7 minutes, this show is over. I've got to watch another show, which probably won't start on time, and I'll feel like a fool. What's going on here? Nobody says bah humbug. Same to you, brother. Uncle Fatty says the daily affirmation on your calendar, self-hypnosis, you are worth it, you matter, your work is not done here, just keep swimming. Those might be a form of self-hypnosis, I guess. If you're suggestive, if you're open for suggestions, 7 minutes, yes. Say goodnight, Gracie. Good night, Gracie. Uncle Fatty says goodnight, Gracie. We're almost done with this. Susceptibility. Basically, that's just the idea of how susceptible are you. Some people are more susceptible than others. There are applications of hypnosis. It has been used as something in cognitive behavioral therapy since as early as 1949. But it was really more classical conditioning, where the therapist's words were the stimuli, and there would be some form of conditioned response in the hypnosis. So the words of the therapist are, you will quit biting your fingernails, and that's done during the hypnosis. And then the conditioned response would be to quit biting your fingernails. And by the way, quit that. It's not going to gain you any friends. Incidentally, just something to thrill you a little bit. Here is a woman at a big conference that they're showing off hypnosis, and she passes out from being hypnotized. She's been induced. Induced, yes. Hypnotism has also been used in forensics, sports, education, physical therapy, and rehabilitation. There are certain artists who've used it for creative purposes. Surrealist André Breton used hypnosis, automatic writing, and sketches for his creative purposes. Hypnotic methods have been used to re-experience drug states or mystical transcendental experiences. Self-hypnosis is popularly used to quit smoking, alleviate stress, or promote weight loss, or to induce sleep. Stage hypnosis has been thought to persuade people to perform unusual public feats. That's been widely debunked. There are also areas of hypnosis that are not thought to be true, but have been discussed in the actual clinical settings, like crowd psychology, religious hysteria, and ritual trances, which are all, in my mind, a bunch of hooey. Hypnotherapy, which is the use of therapy and hypnosis, has been used many times to treat depression, anxiety, eating disorders, sleep disorders, compulsive gambling, phobias, post-traumatic stress. And hypnotherapists, however, are not physicians or psychologists. They use it to treat smoking and weight management. It is not generally considered to be based on scientific evidence and is rarely recommended in clinical practice. It was used in psychiatric and legal settings to recall repressed or degraded memories, but that has gone away because they proved those are very, very, very terrible ways to get actual truthful memories. There's a few cases in particular where the hypnotherapist kind of overdid it on, did you see this or did you see that? And when the idea is planted in the head, now they've seen something. And so everybody testified, yeah, we saw him, he did it, yeah, he did it, he did it. And then it was proved that it didn't happen, you know, that kind of thing. So, yes, as I mentioned, that stopped in the 1990s when it was almost completely done away with. The military has tried to use hypnosis for a variety of applications and has, for the most part, completely abandoned that. You know, they learned there were many other better ways to get mind control, including pharmaceuticals, and that after a while, hypnosis, according to the military and people in the military, produces something called hypnotic deafness or hypnotic blindness. You know, that they can't be hypnotized anymore, or the degree of their hypnosis doesn't allow them to be hypnotized in any other way than the way they've been done before. So whatever recurring memories or objectives of the hypnosis exist, that's all that's getting in there. They ain't no mo. They ain't no mo. Yes. Now, I'm going to read these real quick because there's another show I need to get to, but various people have been suspected of hypnosis-related crimes. I'm not joking, including robbery and SA. A guy named Pala Hardup shot and killed Hardup, not Hardup, because that's a little bit of a joke. Shot and killed 2 people during a botched robbery in Copenhagen. He claimed that his friend and former cellmate, Bjørn Scho Nielsen, had hypnotized him to commit the robbery, inadvertently causing the deaths. Both were sentenced to jail time. In 2013, the then 40-year-old amateur hypnosis guy, Timothy Porter, attempted to SA his female weight loss client. She reported awaking from a trance and finding him behind her with his trousers around his ankles, telling her to do things. He was subsequently called to court and included on the offender list. In 2015, Gary Narito, then 52, was sentenced to 10 years in prison for several hypnosis-related charges along the same line. A guy in Brazil was famous for performing spiritual surgeries through hypnosis techniques, was accused of nasty things. And I got to tell you, that's all I got to tell you. I could get into dissociation a little bit, which is the fact that hypnosis may just be not associating anymore with the real world. It might mean that you've just said, okay, what I'm thinking right now, all those things, I'm not doing that. So that hypnosis isn't a proactive way of altering your state of reality, but it's a way of avoiding the state of reality and dissociating from it. Social role taking, cognitive behavioral theory. A lot of these things are just not true anymore. So anyway, that's all I got to tell you tonight about hypnosis. I'd have more, but I had to complain about Verizon and Spectrum at the start of the show. Collar says, great show, Tom. The power of suggestion. I got some suggestions for you. I'm just kidding. I'm just joshing. H2BH, right back at you. What show will you be on next? Well, I'm not going to be on this show. I'm just going to watch it. Uncle Fatty says, Gulley for president. Oh, no. If nominated, I will not run. If elected, I will not serve. Thanks for the show, Gulley. You're welcome. Tomorrow night, our show will be on the Mid-Atlantic accent. On Wednesday, it will be on Marfan's system. Those were both viewer requested. And then on Thursday, we're going to be doing Unsolved True Crimes on Thursday for the rest of eternity. Thursday is the Fort Worth Trio. 3 people that disappeared without a trace, but there was some creepy stuff. Fear not. There was some creepy stuff. Please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all the free things you can do to help us out with the show. And with all that being said, that old clock on the wall says, like the Reverend Al Green, it's time for me to get on up out of here. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And with all that being said, until next time, we'll see you next time. I'm going to play a new song. It's really short by Leon Kennedy called Dial G for Gully. And then I'm going to play... Should I play an anti-Dabbleverse song? I'll just play Podcast King. No, I'll play Tom Gulley Goes to Town. That's what I'll play. We'll do a little laid-back thing here tonight. Hey, thank you all for being here. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships from Team Brittany. Thank you for Gilman and the super sticker. Anything you can do to help, particularly on PayPal, where you give the most and I get the most, will be greatly appreciated. Thank you to my sister Kelly, my sister showing up, the senior lecturer. Anyway, till next time. We'll see you next time.
When the night gets weird, and the headlines start to twist, he's digging through the stories, finding all the things you missed, talking Super Bowl ads, old films and modern trouble. If the world's too loud, he cuts it down to the subtle. So turn that down, 'cause you know who's talking. Ooh, if there's truth in the static, Tom Gulley, from where you're looking. Ooh, you gotta dial G for Gulley. 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 Sunrise greets him with a golden crown. Tom Gulley's ready, no time